Hi there, I am of course the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day Nick Dutch, back on the camera again one more time. And yes, I have been playing with my new toy. It's just called a sound machine. There were three I saw in the shop, and they all had different forms of special effects. You press a button, you get the sound effect. One of them was a pirate one, which could have been very useful for a previous video I did, and the other one was of course bodily functions. No, I wasn't gonna. That wasn't quite my sort of thing, but this one seemed to, I thought, would work better with my YouTube videos because it's the kind of sound effects they got in this cool little toy kind of like fits more what I do as a kind of like entertainery YouTubey kind of person. And I do these videos to entertain myself and to educate myself, as well as of course to educate and entertain yourself, so I might as well have fun whilst I'm doing it. Now, this one particular video I'm doing right now is based upon what I saw in the comments section of a previous video I did. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Oh dear. Entitled Jesus, the Church and Christianity, in which someone had approached me and said, Nick, I'm thinking of doing the church thing just like you do, and what kind of pointers can you give me? And I just basically said my opinion. Okay, yes, I know, I'm commenting upon a comment in a comment section, almost as if I don't have any original ideas of my own. But the fact is, I do have original ideas of my own, and it's because I've got those comments there, so they can like help me to, sweep the dust away from the shelves in the attic, and then try and reveal some kind of pearl of wisdom. This one particular comment actually says, I'm more inclined to think that it's the empathic social connection that supports our well-being and not the belief, because I pointed out that there are some scientific studies which seem to suggest that there is actually a mental stroke physical health benefit as a result of faith itself, which I think is an interesting point of view, and I'm of the opinion that that's correct. But essentially, I'm not too sure whether this point of view that this one particular commenter, who I like a lot, okay, but I'm not quite sure if I totally agree with that. Now, I'm going to do something I've done before, and I'm going to refer back to Terry Pratchett. I don't know whether you've seen this on television or at the cinema. There was a movie version of the Terry Pratchett book, The Hogfather, which came out a while ago, and it's a Christmas-themed movie. And they've got the character of Death at the end of it, who's talking to, I think it's Susan, which is supposed to be his granddaughter in the story. And Susan says, well, why is it that people need to create these myths like Father Christmas, Santa Claus? And the character of Death says, well, it's practice. Kids need to believe in something fictitious so that later in life they can believe in bigger fictions, such as, if you were to grind up all the molecules in the universe, could you find one single speck of justice or hope or mercy or whatever? To which, of course, the answer would be no. And so mythologies do seem to help people in some respects, but I also feel that some forms of mythology are geared towards having a affective, not effective, but affective change in some people, which it means to change the emotions, okay, not the intellectual side of being, but the emotional side of being, for good effect. So the end result is that a aspect of your character becomes changed in line with something of a positive nature. Now, I'm perfectly happy to accept and to agree that there are plenty of groups out there who call themselves Christian who basically are encouraging all kinds of negative emotions and hate-based emotions, whether it's hatred against another form of Christianity or against homosexuals or against whatever, or people of different genders or ethnicities or classes, or just people who don't believe. And I think that those types of people are in fact crazy, rather illiberal. I think that they are people who've got problems, who are broadcasting their own problems to other people, possibly even for the purposes of trying to do themselves some good, without necessarily actually getting there. Okay, so yes, there is plenty of negativity within Christianity, accepted, all right? As well as in Judaism, Islam, and of course atheism, and of course any other ism you may hope to think about. But if an individual wants to improve the positives in their life, then they should be able to look at whatever the mythology is that they're dealing with and use their rational and objective thinking to work out which particular ideas they would like to focus in on, which particular ideas they might want to keep a bit of distance from for the moment, and then maybe like look at that from a more objective academic stance later in life, and just try and feel their way to, trying to use it as a tool of growth in its own respect to get to where they want to go. So if you made a choice that what you wanted to do was to enhance like the positive, loving, empathic, compassionate aspect of your being, you may have to put in a bit of work to work out what particular ideas, what particular words, what particular prayers, passages of the Bible, or rune stones, or whatever it is you wanted to focus your attention upon in whatever culture or whatever that will help you to get to where you are, without listening to people who want to bully you in whatever direction they want to make you be, because they themselves have got issues or problems, or they're mentally ill, or they got a brain chemistry thing going on. And there are people who have brain chemistry things going on in the Church of England, in the Catholic Church, in Quakerism, Mormonism, all sorts of denominations and places, and you've got to still always keep your self-survival radar going in every social environment that you're in, including when you're online. Alright, because that's how you keep safe, that's how you keep away from people who are negative. It doesn't matter what label they give themselves. Alright, people have issues. I mean, I tend to say about humankind in general, like, we're all fucking mental, because basically we are. Alright, every single human has got something here, there, or anywhere which can influence them negatively. I mean, that, and I do include myself in this. Alright, there may be some things about the way in which I see the world which is not completely all-embracing or deep enough, and is therefore a separation from reality to a certain extent, and so on and so forth. This is just part of being in the human condition, and that's why being in a state of self-doubt can in fact be quite a good idea. And yes, I am looking at my sound machine trying to work out what particular sound could possibly go with that, but I'm not too sure. Maybe the sound of breaking glass to symbolize, so to speak, the destruction of rigid and inflexible ideas under the pressure of reason and logic and critical thought. Okay, I think that one actually worked quite well, so maybe I'll use that one again to mean the same thing, or whatever I see fit in that one particular video when the time arises. But I hope you get my drift here. All I can do is give you my opinion, and I'm perfectly happy for other people to find their own opinions, even if I disagree with yours, and might even end up shouting at you in another video at some point in the future. But don't take me too seriously, because I'm just a human being, and sometimes I don't see the world totally clearly, because I am just human. But I've got enough doubts, self-doubt and the rest of that, to hopefully help me to see through these things, and to see what good I can do. But yes, I do disagree that just an empathic social connection is the only thing which can support your well-being. Because what if the empathic social connection goes, and you end up stranded or alone? Would you still be able to maintain your well-being? Possibly to a certain extent, if you were still capable of focusing or meditating on ideas which were still positive and affectively or emotionally transformative. So, there you go. Thank you very much for listening. I bid you good fortune, God bless, look after yourself, chill out, and generally, Happy New Year.